Hi and welcome to episode 3 on Any Weather Builds. This video is going to be covering a Warlock build I thoroughly enjoy. I I don't typically see things on builds and copy it word for word. This I have not really seen covered, at least what I am using primarily. Everything else is going around that, and you can actually use the main aspects, which I'm going to cover right now, on any subclass, whatever subclass you want, and still do whatever you want, really. This is the key thing. The ionic traces being generated just by being in the high damage state. The high damage state can also be carried from target to target to target, which I'm also going to be taking high advantage of with this build that you're going to be seeing overall, because every little aspect is being used. Fragment, mod, excuse me. You actually heard that because that was a surprise burp. Excuse me. Excuse me again, but that one I caught. uh, the the ionic traces being generated is very good, and that high damage trace is very good. Both of those are very helpful. But the ionic traces you can use in elemental charge because you're going to be generating a metric fuck ton of them to do anything you want. But because I have elemental charge being used, I also have special ammo finisher, which on top of charged up allows me to constantly have the damage boost, constantly have my font of wisdom, and anything else you want can also be constantly be used if you have. And this is what I'm taking advantage of the most, which allows you to have anything you want. Like, you don't necessarily have to have arc weapon surge, you don't necessarily have any of this appear, but I highly suggest playing with Cold Heart at first, at the very least, with charged up 2 stacks, elemental charge, and special ammo finisher. Nothing else really matters besides those couple things. Try that on, and technically you can use that on any class as well. At all. It doesn't really matter what class you're using, what subclass you're using. Those key things can be used on any of them. And then you can dabble into it more with other things here and there, but that allows you to have peak efficiency on whatever you want to do, be it orb generation, because you could do anything with those charged with light. You can do so many crazy things that allow you to do so many crazy things. And I highly suggest trying that shit out. But this build is covering, or not covering, using it as a high add clear potential with survivability out the ass on top of very good support aspects. Because I'm running Stag, it allows me to be in the shit a little bit more and have a good mobile platform, because I'm going to be constantly getting those up. A good, like, sure, not Titan Wall type of good defensive position, but a very good defensive position nonetheless, because constant health regen on top of that constant damage reduction is just fucking crazy. And then the last bit allows people to revive me a little bit easier if I do die in a decent place. This okay. These two things are my personal preference. Like I've said, with just about everything, this is my personal preference. But even if you want to copy this build a good bit, I do think you can still get away with changing these as well. This is my personal preference. Like, I don't even want hashling on this personally, but this is beautiful. I personally think reloading is kind of, it's not stupid. It is boring, or reloading is only really good on your primary. You should want to, not want to reload, but reloading your primary isn't a bad thing, because that gives you like time down and you can do other things, and that reloading sure is going to cancel the animation, but it gives you a second to actually think. Like, it's, I have downtime here, what am I doing? Kind of thing. At least for me, it helps a little bit. But with things that are not your primary, like this is going to be just my ranged alternative, allowing me to do decent damage at range, that allows me to just constantly swap to it and have guaranteed shots with Reconstruction. Reconstruction is the best type of auto-loading perk, or loading trait, actually. People typically say perk even though they are called traits. And I don't know why. But trait, that is the best type of trait because of that second part. That second part of double up on up to double magazine capacity, or double capacity, allows things, or allows roles to do crazy shit. One of the roles I personally love with that reconstruction is this. This is not a necessarily high damage roll or really anything. This is a very fun roll. This roll, the magazine stat is very deceptive, and all these stats do different things, and there's a lot of little nuances across the entire board when it comes to frames, archetypes, even different frames in the same weapon type, like different SMGs across the board, all have different stats that actually mean different things depending on it is. Or some stats, okay, I do not think some weapons need specific stats to be good. Some weapons can have any stats package and still be good. It just really depends on the perks. Like rocket launchers, I love high impact casing because my rocket launchers, I want to be able to reload themselves. So that's just a good thump of increased damage. Sure, it's not high increased damage, but I want that increased damage nonetheless because it's just nice. And because I don't have to worry about shit, I'm going to be hitting the target regardless because of the ranges I'm going to be fighting in, different things like that. It's just good for me. I had a point before that. Uh, Different perks, different magazines and barrels are all up to really personal preference and what I really want with the perk stat itself, or the trait combo it themselves. The trait combo really says what you're wanting to do. Like this, you're not wanting high reload speed. Reload speed is not something you're wanting. You're wanting more magazine size because that will give you higher double capacity because that's still double your magazine. On top of you're going to want different things like range, stability more than anything else because you have more shots, different things like that. Like it's what are you wanting with the different perk stat or the perk combo. Uh, but the rocket launcher I showed, the cool thing about that I can get to, the magazine stat is deceptive. It's not just a 1 in the magazine, it is actually 4 in the magazine when Reconstruction is fully procced. Because Bipod makes the magazine stat now 2, and then you have that Reconstruction, which gives you that reload for the base magazine, relatively speaking, with Bipod, and then you have the double capacity, which makes it up to 4, which allows, say, with Gallahorn, because that's a legendary rocket, to dump a fuck ton of explosives downrange. I was drinking some soda. Uh, I I've done this video multiple times, so I don't know if I've gone over this, but all of this is very important. This is a pocket rocket that does a metric Falconer damage. I highly suggest trying it if you haven't. And I'm going to skim through this a good bit because I don't know what I have covered in this recording of this. Because the first time I did it perfectly, but I was the Majestic double muted. And if you don't get that, I am playing on PlayStation. I'm always going to play on PlayStation. At least 5 right now, and I think it's going to keep that mute button because that mute button is beautiful. But I was going to play on PlayStation even if I get a PC. I am going to be editing on a PC, but still making my playing my games and all that on my console because I just prefer console overall. Everything about console, I just personally prefer. There is massive advantages to PC. I am not taking that away from the PC people, the PC community. I just don't personally like it, and I'm okay with you guys just wanting absolute peak efficiency with absolute peak this absolute just I want to say fuckboyness like in PvP terms where you're just peak efficiency, you're meta, you're wanting to use meta IRL. That's how much of a PvP fuckboy you are basically with that entire I'm wanting the best of the best of the best. I'm more of fun and enjoyment. I enjoy playing on controller and everything about console more than PC. Um, but PC is amazing in everything it does. Even the mouse system itself gives you more precision over a joystick. Which, in talking about this, because I'm talking about PC versus console to an extent, as a game developer, I am going to be messing with the idea of aim assist itself. Because aim assist itself is shit. Like, PC community says so much blows it out portion of what aim assist is. Aim assist, if done right, some games have absolute horrible aim assist, like the finals to begin with, like when it was first released, or like I think it was in beta, and then when it first released, it got rid of this. But in beta, it had on weapons when you ADS'd with the controller, and when they were in your hip fire, you instantly got to their body. Guaranteed, that was a body shot, but it only worked on controller, if I remember correctly. Excuse me, I had to burp, even though you didn't hear. Um, the that aspect got away, which is very good, but weapon or typically things do not need that. Uh, Games do not need that. That stuff is not really needed, and I am going to be working with the idea of aim assist to make it an assister, not a I winner. And people, even in people typically blow out of proportions in like Call of Duty, different things like that, aim assist and how different things like that really affect gameplay. People say you could just walk in a crowd, hold down R2, kill everyone. And to those people, do it. Walk into a crowd, walk into a room. Do not move your joystick. And you can even make a build around Hipfire. Do not move your joystick. Do not touch it at all. And it is obvious when you do. At all. Do not. Do not touch it. Do not touch it from spawn. And just walk forward. Try that. It's not as easy as you think. You still have to aim with aim assist. Even in Call of Duty, you still have to aim with aim assist. It helps, and even in Call of Duty, that is horrible aim assist in regards of like general. Not, it is too magnetized. Best way to put it. It's good in controller aspect, but in versus PC console, it is a little bit strong. But even that, you can't just walk in a crowd and hold down the trigger. That's not going to work. You still have to aim, but that Call of Duty typically is still a little bit much on aim assist. A little bit much. And I do mean a little bit much. But that general thing is not if done right, it's just fair because you have so much more precision and control with a mouse than controller ever could have. Aim assist just bridges that gap a little bit. And something I'm wanting to dabble with, which will make aim assist better for the aim assister versus PC, or the controller player versus the PC player. The controller player, if it has a thing like how Manticore. Manticore in this game, and I'm sorry for doing this big deviation, but after I'm done with all this, I'm going to be playing this build on the Amuna so you can see it in a general higher-ish thing. Just know the boss damage isn't that good, but ad clear, holy fuck, this got ad clear. But, Manticore. The Manticore's thing. Now, or all of that you see, and I can even scroll over this, you can see everything this gun does. This gun does a lot of shit, and it is absolutely amazing. It even has this, which makes it does even more shit, which is absolutely amazing. I have a build on this, which is going to be next Merryweather build, most definitely. I have a Titan build I'm using this, and holy fuck the shit you can do with this. I want to suggest this to any or the Manticore build to any YouTuber I could ever get a touch on or a touch to, because holy shit, the potential with that Void Overshield alone is fucking crazy. But the thing Manticore, this introduced Manticore, uh, one of its buffs. It had a lot of buffs overall. Like that was a massive buff with everything I'm going to be talking about, or with what I'm going to be talking about primarily. But one of its buffs was it had a .5 counter on being in the air. We had to be in the air for .5 of a second to then start flying after doing damage in the air, which helped out different things. Like Destiny geometry, like everything else, is a little bit jankier in there. So there's going to be certain places where you're technically still on the same platform, but there's a little bit of a ledge. So you step down that ledge, which is still in the air a little bit, so you do damage and start floating accidentally. Like that has happened a lot in different geometry, like especially Vex areas. I wouldn't be surprised, especially Vex areas, depending on where it is, but that most likely was very common. Now, because of that, it makes it very ease of use where you have to be wanting to do it basically, unless you're using Manticore and you jump in the air and do it like that, because it'll be accidental. But you are typically going to want to do it. With all that said, that general thing of .5 on looking at target, .5, boom, you have aim assist on that specific target, which is something I wanted to clarify. That specific target with aim assist, which will then make it where any target running through your view first does not instantly get rid of that aim assist. That aim assist, like basically think of it as a debuff, but from peer to peer, it's your aim assist debuff on them, where they are your target, which will allow you to have more control, more precision on shooting them, even through another target, which in every other game ever will then, if it was any target, PvE, PvP, will pull your view instantly that way, like a Thrail with aim assist. And I did all that because I dropped my controller. Almost dropped my controller, I catched it. But that typically, like in Destiny with Thrails, that would just take your aim assist instantly and you couldn't shoot the thing you needed to shoot, and the thing you needed to shoot kills you. Typically is how that goes. It sucks. But with the system I'm thinking about, even in high ad dense PvE, that would allow you to have that target dies in any instance ever. Unless you're like using a rocket and then the little shit can still kill you. Or explosive damage could kill you, different things like that. Pros and cons. But that's kind of user error at that point. But that would make it so much better, but that point 0.5 would then be targeted if you wanted to say target anything else, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, and I'm thinking that would be around 0.5. It has to be enough where it's not instantaneous for things like Thrails and different ads to just run past your screen, or even in PvP. Like say somebody run past your screen in PvP, takes your target. You had one shot on that enemy across the way, then the enemy shotguns you, sure, like you're gonna die to that enemy that run across your screen, but if you could hit that one last bullet or last two bullets because you had two extra shots because they have to run a corner, turn, shoot. Excuse me, I had to burp there. I'm drinking soda, so I burp a lot when I'm drinking soda. But I really wanted the caffeine because I'm tired. Uh, what was I saying? That would allow you to guarantee that kill on that enemy, but sure, you're still gonna die, but it still allows you to get a kill before you die, which is pros and cons. It will make general combat feel a little bit better, because it will feel just worse. It feels so bad getting so close to that kill and getting fucked over by aim assist, getting fucked over by the thing that everyone says is a massive benefit, and then it just absolutely kills you. Or it doesn't kill you, it makes it where you did nothing besides die in that fight, which is horrible. And different things like that I'm wanting to fix and just make more fluid and just fine tune it, which which things like that is why I know my games are going to sell like hotcakes, because I'm wanting to reinvent the wheel, basically reinvent what gaming means and change the entire idea of like Fortnite, for example. Fortnite is the most horrible game, and I mean that in what games are. They are art that is meant to be beautiful in its own right, do different things, not be a money dump where every skin you're wanting to buy because it's beautiful, it's pretty, you're wanting to buy all these skins, you're wanting to do all these different things. Like it's not meant to be that. It's not meant to be you're doing all sorts of, you're buying every single battle pass, you're doing all these different cosmetics, and just for cosmetics, that is the worst part. Just for cosmetics is horrible. Like, for an example, people say Destiny shit is absolutely horrendously expensive. That's $10. For example, this is $10. That gives you a exotic weapon ornament, and those are typically more expensive, like in every game ever, exotic, or not every game ever, like Overwatch, Apex, different things like that. The legendaries are more expensive. But that's an exotic weapon or exotic weapon ornament. Armor ornaments are the same general price too. That's $10, relatively speaking. I think price of Glimmer did go up a little bit, but that's not the same price as, say, Apex or even Overwatch 2 skin. That's cheap comparatively to those. And people don't talk about that. That's actually cheap compared to those for generally the same thing. Even armor packs. Armor packs. Sure, that is $15, but you are not buying, say, in like Call of Duty, Apex, Overwatch 2. You're not buying that look. You're buying that piece, that piece, that piece, that piece, that piece, which then you can customize with any shader you want. Like you can see here, you can put it on any armor you want, which that actually looks pretty fucking sick. I'm not gonna lie. I actually like the continuation of the fur into that. I'm not gonna buy it because I don't have the money, but that's pretty fucking cool. Not gonna lie. Oh wait, is that just the shoulder pads coming from? Oh no, that is just the chest going down to that. Never mind. But that did look pretty fucking cool with the feathers on it. But with what I said, all of that is still what makes Destiny beautiful. And I think I've talked about the best part. The best part is the bright dust system itself. And I haven't even looked at this week's Bright Dust. This you can buy for that amount of money, and I don't actually know how to get this. That's a Gambit weapon, a old Gambit weapon. I don't actually know how to get it now. I'm guessing you play Gambit. Guessing. But it's a good shotgun, I'm guessing, because shotguns are typically good no matter what frame. It just depends on the rolls. Don't know what you can roll with. But all these things you can buy all these things with Bright Dust. And Bright Dust you can earn doing different bounties. Like right now there's free Bright Dust or Bright Dust blah, which gives you 700. And I think it's per week. And something cool, maybe you can actually see it, there is exotic weapon ornaments that you can buy with the same stuff. Sure, it's pretty expensive, but you can save up and up and up for a exotic weapon ornament you actually really want. Like this, I just prefer the base. Like I don't really want that. This, that's actually kind of goofy, but it's not with my Bright Dust. Different things that like value your Bright Dust like you should value your money, kind of thing. Like it's sure you can get a good bit of it, but it's like with the bounties, you only get like 100 per with the bounties. I've just saved up my stuff, and you can also get glimmer, not glimmer, bright dust with certain. I don't know if you, yeah, you won't be able to see the rewards, but some challenges, and these challenges you can do even with this is brightest. Some these challenges you can do even without owning the season pass, which is fucking beautiful because that will allow you to then earn bright dust for anything you want, even as a free-to-play player. So, as a free-to-play player, please look into the bright dust and how to get it because then that would allow you to buy any cosmetics you want that comes out. The beautiful thing about these cosmetics, is you can actually look it up of what's going to come out in the later weeks. So you can like say, I want this thing here, like this many weeks away. Is this going to be around this amount? Because I don't know if it's exactly this amount or it might be changing. I don't know. I haven't looked up things like that because I prefer ooh, this is what's here. I'm like looking it up beforehand, but that sorry about that websites where you can look it up and figure that out will allow you to then prepare to then purchase it whenever it comes out, which will be very handy for anyone, really. And now let's kick some ass. I'm debating going to this lost sector or this lost sector. There it is. I didn't even see the symbol, but that's actually the symbol right there in the center. Some lost sectors have that, and it's typically in like the older maps, newer maps don't have this, and I love it how the newest map just has a lost sector hidden like that, even on the map, which is fucking cool. But debating going to either or. I didn't actually plan this part out because both of these work. I'm just gonna go kill some Cabal. That boss is gonna be, or either one will be Cabal. I'm gonna go kill those Cabal up there, up to the right. Uh, boss damage is going to be a little bit of a problem, but with the constant survivability, I can kill the ads, then go straight to the big bitch, do a good bit of damage, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, which I hope I can do properly to demonstrate it, but you can do it technically. Also, I don't know if anyone, or I know people have figured it out, but you can spawn your sparrow, or not sparrow, your skimmer in the air like you can spawn a sparrow in the air. And then activate the grinding instantly. So say if you have grapple and you want to get up high and get up higher, you can grapple up, do any movement to get up higher, and like I've talked about previously with strafe lift, I highly suggest figuring out how to do that, and I hope that was in this video. Like I said, I'm recording multiple versions of this video. Hopefully that was in this, but highly suggest figuring out strafe lift. Strafe lift has so many different bonuses to it and so many different pros and cons, which the pro is the con at the same time. But grapple allows you to fucking soar while you're using grapple. Grapple, then strafe lift allows you to soar to absolute heights and do all sorts of crazy shit, like distance you can cover and all sorts of shit you can do. Just absolutely amazing. Where the fuck? Oh, it's over there. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I think I did say it because I want to talk about the grapple and how strafe lift the grapple is fucking cool. Yeah. No! No, 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 no! Fuck. That was just not knowing how to use Warlock movement. Warlock movement is very weird compared to the compared to Titan. Warlock movement is the most similar than Hunter. Excuse me, even though you didn't hear me, I had multiple burps that time. But Warlock movement is actually the most similar, at least to me, to Titan movement than Hunter movement. But it's still so weird, like Hunter movement is to Titan. Like, every one of these movements is fucking crazy. And speaking of movement, I really want a Titan alternative movement like Warlock and Hunter have Blink. I'm personally playing around with the idea of something like Titanfall-esque movement where you can like wall run and do different things like that. I would love it. Like, I don't know how this would work with wall jank and different things like that, but the concept of this could also be on Hunter too, because Hunter should have a lot of movement mechanics. But Titan, I've thought about this with Headcanon. I'm sorry about this. Once I'm done with this, I'm going to go shred everything and show off how this build works. Hopefully, that hasn't been taken long. That's 26 long, but okay, I can talk about this pretty fast. The movement should, in theory, work with Titan because Titan's movement resets on touching a surface. A wall is a surface. All these different ideas I am going to actually make animations for and make videos on if I ever get my PC. And that's another thing I'm going to want to do with Unreal, of actually make videos with it and genuinely show this is how different ideas could work. Like, I'm thinking about different class abilities for different classes. Like, I believe every single class should have Hunter-esque class abilities. Like, Arc Titan has the dash that doesn't necessarily do anything, but something like that, so they don't just have that plant your feet in that animation that can easily get you killed in PvE, PvP, you name it, because you're stuck in that animation planting your feet. That alone will easily get you killed no matter what you're doing. And I do want good class abilities like Arc. The Arc class ability for Titan is beautiful. Like, I do think that there should be like an aspect, a fragment, something, an Arc exotic or an exotic something to allow you to do that in air. And hell, because there's crossovers now, I would love crossovers with exotics. The exotic I would love to do, or an exotic I would love to see, is a Doom Eternal crossover where you have two charges of, and this would be like the Twilight Garrison, and because it's technically not a Twilight Garrison, the developer comment of they're never bringing back Twilight Garrison could still be correct. They could call it something else and have it as a boot to fully reference Doom, which would be pretty cool. But that exotic pair of boots would allow you to, if it's fully beautiful, it would allow you to have two charges, which doesn't like buff the charge rate or anything like that, but just two charges of that movement ability. But you can also use it in the air, both charges, which sounds fucking crazy with the shit you could do. Like, imagine in PvP, dashing into a fight, or not dashing into a fight, running, jumping into a fight, seeing them shooting, you know that they're looking at you about to fuck you up. You say, oh shit, and do the Doom Eternal thing of dash, dash, backwards, and just, you're gone. They don't know where you went, you're just fucking gone. That would be fucking cool. And crossovers with different things for exotics, that sounds absolutely amazing. I'm guessing I can one-shot. Almost. Alright, so I have a guy left to kill. Hell yeah. Also, I didn't actually talk about the super, but the super is just for personal preference. I personally just prefer the Kamehameha over the infinite power. It gives me a lot of ease of use. It's also a very good movement tool, and I really like using my super movement tools. It allows me to float in the air and use it to go side to side like I'm doing now, which could, in theory, and has actually saved my life, so I didn't just fall into the abyss. Which is very handy. And keep in mind, sure, the grenade didn't look like it did a lot of damage, but that was maximum cold heart. Or, you know, it wasn't actually the same target. Let me compare this. That damage was maximum cold heart. Maximum cold heart with even a power surge, or a surge mod, which giving it even more damage, not anything else, but those two things giving it more damage. Which, that alone, does a good bit of damage. Let's see. Flux. Yeah, that's a lot of damage! Last time I tossed the grenade at Golden Health Boy, I thought that was not a lot. Like, it looked kind of pathetic compared to what I thought it was. Power of damage reduction in a healing rift. Oh! I thought I had restoration. I have my class ability again. Getting the fuck out of here. But where did I? Oh, I didn't actually kill him. Where's he at? There he is. What was I gonna say? I was saying something. I hope it'll come back to me. I'm just gonna try and speed run the fuck out of this. Well, bang. And something awesome about how they can play around and just mess around with different verbs and just general ideas of what different things can do. They could actually add the Doomslayer or Doom Eternal's double barrel shotgun, having it as the same frame or same general frame as Conditional Finality, which will then allow that frame to have more in it, which this one should have like double fire perk, something that allows both barrels to be shot at once, which is a metric fuck ton of just damage. But that double barrel could, and I think that this should be free to all players. I think the cosmetic set that goes with the boots, different things like that, should be purchased, and I think there should be a non-exotic version that you can purchase with the set. So you don't need the exotic to make it look good, so you don't have to grind for that, but you can have the Doom Eternal set, or a Doom Eternal set, not necessarily the Doom Eternal set, like I personally prefer, and there's multiple Doom Eternal sets, but I personally prefer the Praetor suit, if not the suit I had on my previous video. Yeah, it was my previous video. The last video I made was the Doom Eternal video, I believe. But as I was saying, the double barrel shotgun could then allow for the meat hook ability on the shotgun. It could be, instead of a meat hook, a grapple that will not target, like it will have to be targeted on it to make it feel like the meat hook, but targeted on an enemy. That then pulls you in and bang, they're dead. Or pulls you into them and then boom, they're dead. Which, say there's harpies or something in the air, you can run, fly up, boom, do a lot of damage. Or while you're running, like if you haven't watched Doom Eternal at all or haven't played Doom Eternal, the movement with the shotgun and the Doom Eternal movement, holy shit, you can fly around a battlefield and it is fucking beautiful. And if you haven't seen it, I have actually made a video on it. Like I said, the previous video I made is on that. I am not trying to advertise my stuff. If you want to watch it, watch it. Just the movement with that super shotgun is fucking crazy. And with, say, I don't think you should go maximum synergy between these two. Like, it should not be an arc shotgun. If anything, it should be solar, because that like fits like Doom Eternal and that general thing. But that double barrel shotgun should not be arc, because then pairing that with the arc boots, you're just unstoppable at that point. But it should have some pros or cons, like some extra bit to make it not a perfect match. Even though it would be kind of a perfect match, because that's saying Doomslayer's arc, but to make it where it's not, that is going to make you unstoppable in PvE and PvP, make it less synergistic, which would be pretty nice. And now let's kick some ass. How's it going? Oh shit, that's a big. And I do want to specify, when I say shit like that, I do say it for the sake of you, because sure, I don't know if you have seen it, but you might have seen it. Because you might have. You play this game most likely because you're watching any other builds, but if you haven't played it, I still do want you to have cool experience while watching it, because that is pretty cool. On the first viewing, that's just, how is it going, big, oh, that's a big ball. Like when playing any game that I've ever played over again with y'all. It is just for your entertainment, just about with the different expression, not just for your entertainment. I do express like that even though I have played it multiple times. Just, that's me. That personal expression, though, of the how's it going, big O ball, that I don't ever say because I've run this a fuck ton. Or I have said like once, but that was like the first run, but I've run this a fuck ton since then, so it's not as needed, so to speak. The reason why I shut down the stairs is because I thought I heard a boy down there. The only downside to this build is you're going to have to call out whenever you need a finisher on an enemy when you're playing with allies, because they're most definitely shooting at the same targets you are, so always better safe than sorry when you need a finisher for your special weapons. And that goes for any build you're using while you're prioritizing special ammo finishers for your general build. Always call out your finishers if you really need it. It just helps out everyone involved. Because if you have ammo, you have more damage going down the field, which helps out with ad clear, even damage, which helps out your allies because you want to get it done as fast as possible. Even if you're not running meta shit, you're still running to get it done relatively as fast as possible, which will help you out. With all that said,
traitors and deserters, the lot of them. You do the Cabal Empire a great service, Guardian.
All of them?
Any Cabal who have wound up here are no longer Cabal. There was ample opportunity to turn back.
I always forget what emotes I have on my Warlock, but all my emotes and even my cosmetic choices, like for my, I was trying to go to orbit, or I was thinking that I was in orbit for some unknown reason. Like my ship is always going to be this for my Warlock, my Sparrow is always going to be that for my Warlock because I just love the skimmer, but it was previously this because that just looks fucking gorgeous with absolute space wizard. And I love having my own head canon for my guardians. My Titan is the most thought out, then it goes my Hunter, then it goes my Warlock. Hunter and Warlock are kind of equal, but Titan is the most thought out, and it's head canon with the idea of I'm not a guardian, I am the guardian with the story, because technically everyone that plays the game is the same guardian when it comes to lore. It is the same guardian, or they are the same guardian, so it does work, but it does not really. It does not allow other headcanons to really coexist unless you want to mingle that, which, to be honest, isn't bad because it's supposed to be your own headcanon, own head idea, or not headcanon, OC, original character, general thing like that. But the animations here are meant to be more like my. I like different personalities for my different guardians. My warlock is Richtofen, basically, like Richtofen being resurrected as a warlock with the ability to experiment with the light as much as he sees fit. My idea for this character, because they're both the guardian, and I do personally, in my own idea, my own stories, when thinking about this, expand on different ideas, like what it truly means to be taken. Taken, what is the limit to being taken? Could they take the very air? Could they? What could they take? What could the effects of taken things be? Because, like, for an example, taken scions can split. Why can they split? what is the limit to them just splitting? Why can't they like sprout extra arms, carry extra guns? Why do they just have to mitosis and make two of them, make another them? Like, why do they just have to split? Different things like that. Like, I love playing with that. And sure, it's not like in the lore and different things like that, but I do love that for just story crafting and different things like that. But with that, my Warlock Richtofen version, I don't know his name, I don't know, I haven't really put a lot of effort into that, but this guy is so experimented to such a degree that, like in, I think it was Black Ops 1 Moon, instead of doing a ritual to become part with Element 115 like the little girl was, becoming part of Element 115, this Richtofen experimented with the light and kind of became a generator of it, where his suits aren't to protect, it is to protect himself from the outside world. It is both, because like he's like a nuclear reactor, it's meant to keep everything in, and if he does take it off, it is just blinding light, and he starts shedding power like a madman, but it is a nuclear reactor. It is a nuclear reactor going off, basically, if he ever takes off a suit, which is part of the cool like aspect of it, where if he ever needs to, it is a massive boom, but doing that he could just instantly combust and die. So it's a pro and con to it, like a nuclear reactor going critical kind of thing. It could take out everything, but the nuclear reactor's gone, it is irradiated to high hell, blah 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 blah, like different things like that. There's cons to it, but like going, not even thinking about like the actual like just raw impact in a war scenario of actually effective use of combat. Not talking about like the casualties, not talking about all that. That is fucking horrible. I do not think you should ever detonate anything nuclear or anything like that. Like that is fucking horrible. But sometimes it is kind of necessary, kind of to an extent. Like, pros and cons, that is a whole lot of debate. But what was I gonna say? I was saying something. The big boom, lot of damage, does a lot of shit. Very, very potent, does a lot of things, but like I said, pros and cons. It, because it's light, it could detonate all sorts of shit. And now because the light thing has darkness inside of him and has always had darkness, that could, or not dark, that is kind of actually darkness as in between light and dark, but which, okay, sorry about this extra tangent, but I'm gonna finish what I was gonna, but darkness subclasses would allow there to be an extra aspect to this where it could just become a black hole, relatively speaking, where the combination of light and dark, or light and dark going supernova, would just explode everything. Like, could do something fucking horrible, which sounds pretty cool with the amount of power at his disposal and different things like that. Uh, but the thing I was talking about, because Void is the middle ground of light and dark, what about the darkness equivalent of Void? That just sounds fucking crazy. His emotes are meant to be more Richtofen-esque, but more like a flamboyant Richtofen, because I just love that idea. Like, imagine Richtofen, like the insane, crazy son of a bitch that I absolutely love. I every time I play Black Ops with Richtofen, or with a Richtofen character that is able to be played, I love playing as Richtofen. I have not played zombies in so long. I don't want to try and talk like Richtofen, but I loved quoting him, like time to play with my pretty ones, different things like that. Like, no ammo, it's not fun. Like that shit is just cool because he's just insane, like Deadpool. He's basically Deadpool, but not immortal, can die pretty easily, has died a lot actually, but that general thing, just love it. But the little bit of flamboyant adds a little aspect, a little bit of spice to it that is just kind of cool. Uh, but with all that said, that was, if you heard that, that was a notification. And the reason I was talking about this because it's not a flamboyant stuff. I just had this, never changed it, or one of these I never changed back to what it was. I forget what it was, but I'm gonna edit all that later because I want it to be more lore accurate, so to speak. Uh, with all that said, I hope you all enjoy, and I will catch you on the next one.